Are good deeds valid even when we don't intend to perform them? In Parshat Toldot, Yitzchak declares, Hakol kol Yaakov v'hayadayim yedei Esav. The voice is the voice of Jacob, and the hands are the hands of Esau. Yitzchak was troubled because he was wondering who this person was who was standing in front of him at a time when his younger son Yaakov was actually deceiving him. But notice the way in which letters make a huge difference. Hakol kol. It's the same word, repeated once after the other, but the spelling is different. It's a malay v'chaser, because sometimes a word includes a vav, and sometimes it doesn't. Hakol, the voice, is kuf lamed without a vav, and then kol coming afterwards is kuf vav lamed with a vav. What lesson emerges from this? The Vilna Gaon teaches that actually if you read these terms literally, it becomes hakal kol, which means sound is weak. And how can we understand this? The Rambam in Laws Relating to Pesach answers a fascinating question. What happens if you have somebody who doesn't like matzah, doesn't want to eat the matzah, but those around this person insist that they have to eat it? And so they eat it. They digest it. They have had no intention whatsoever of performing the mitzvah. Does it count or not? And the Rambam says, yes, they have performed the mitzvah. However, elsewhere, in laws relating to the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, the following question is asked. If you happen to hear the sound of shofar, and you have no intention whatsoever for that to be your mitzvah, does it count? During the coronavirus, when we were all under lockdown, I blew the shofar at home for myself and my wife, and then we went for a walk. And it was so beautiful to hear the sound of shofar from so many homes in our area, because people couldn't go to shul. Now, what would have happened had somebody walked past our house, heard the shofar, and then arrive home and think, hey, I've performed a mitzvah, but they didn't have the intention at the time. The Rambam answers that question by saying, you're not Yetzer. You have not fulfilled your obligation. So what's the difference, therefore, between matzah and shofar? The Maggid Mishnah answers and tells us, when it comes to a mitzvah performed physically, it is a mitzvah. But when it comes to sound, it is not. And the reason is that physically, that person digested the matzah. You can't argue against that. But when it comes to sound, it's only valid if you concentrate, if you appreciate the meaning of it, and if it therefore uplifts you. The Vilna Gaon's interpretation now makes so much sense and imparts to us a very relevant lesson for our times. It's not good enough to just perform mitzvot mechanically in an active and physical way. We also need to listen. And when we hear about our faith and strive to internalize its values, it needs concentration, it needs appreciation. Gone are the days where belief was just passed down automatically from one generation to the next. Unless we are convinced about what it is we're believing in, there is a danger it could be dropped. Let us therefore strengthen the resonance of our tradition to enrich our lives and to guarantee the continuity of our faith. Shabbat Shalom.